Sláinte, how do you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, and boy, do I have one for you today. Look at that beer. Tell me that doesn't look pretty. Anyways, digging into my cellar again, I've got the Materfamilias Barrel Aged Imperial Stout, 11% by volume. This is the 2020 vintage. Let me show you that vintage label real clear for you. It does say it's cellarable. It's a damn good thing because I've had it for 4 years, man. Anyways, I digress. One sip of the Materfamilias shows you why this is the head of the mother's household. It requires the undivided attention of our brewery over the course of a year. Our Imperial Stout delivers intense roasted malt flavor of chocolate and dried fruit, careful aging in bourbon, rye, brandy, and rum barrels imparts unparalleled depth of flavor and aroma. Mercy, let me show you that bottle one more time. I want to show you both sides here in case you want to freeze frame that story, and I want to make sure you get a clear shot of that vintage. So I'm hoping you saw the video for the 2019, and here's the 2020. And again, just like the other one, this is blind. I hadn't tasted it ahead of time. I did pour it and take a picture, but I haven't done anything else. Sláinte. Oh, wow. And just to repeat a little bit, that 2019 was awesome, man. So I'm hoping this one has aged just as well. That nose is incredible. They say dark fruits or dried fruit. Is that what it says? Dried fruit? Dried fruit. Yeah, dried fruit. Could be raisin, date, fig. On the 2019, I really feel like it was a candied cherry note, almost like a fruitcake-like note. And I'm almost feeling that same thing on the nose here, as well as those same big roasted malt notes, almost like a malted chocolate note. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. That's delicious. Well, I made a comment in the other one that I can't imagine it being any better than that. And then I'm having this one. I won't say it's better per se, but I tell you what I'm getting that's a little different. That really works for me in a great big way. As I was feeling those chocolate notes over it was very smooth, very rounded out. It's one thing I loved about the 2019 I had is that everything seems to have melded together very well. What I'm getting different here right away is I'm getting more intense dark chocolate. I'm really feeling a big dark chocolate note. And maybe in a year's time that will mellow to the other. But I'm telling you, that's what I love about this one, is that I love that dark chocolate note. That big forward chocolate note. And then it kind of gives way to the other things going on. I'm getting a lot of molasses. I'm going to say deep dark brown sugar because you definitely feel molasses. Dried fruit notes. Yeah, again, raisins probably come into play, but for me, I'm really feeling that dark cherry note. Maybe because I've been drinking a lot of Manhattans and going through a lot of cherries. I'm kind of feeling that flavor, right? What's interesting as well, it is 11%, and it never gets the hot or boozy. It is 11%. You ought to feel like there's some alcohol in there. But everything comes together so well, it never becomes off-putting in any way. Oh my good Lord. I won't say this is better than a 2019, but it's certainly not worse. And for me, it's checking a lot of boxes for me. Let's just say it's getting a lot of flavors that I like to see in a beer like this. These beers have aged so remarkably well. And I'd like to say that I've cellared them perfectly, but I haven't. I mean, I don't have a cellar, so I do the best I can with what I have to work with. But I do try to keep them out of a lot of heat. I keep them out of any direct sunlight. And again, you work with what you got. So, and having said that, being honest and telling you I have not cellared these in a perfect manner, they have come out amazingly well. I can't imagine them coming out better if somebody had a proper cellar and treated them exactly right. Because this is absolutely gorgeous. And no, in case you haven't figured it out, I'm not in this little Christmas cabin. I'm just trying to create a mood. Just trying to create a mood, man. Some atmosphere, man. I got my Santa shirt on. We're heading into Christmas, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or Festivus, or whatever you celebrate. I'm cool either way, or any of those ways. You celebrate the way you want. I might tell you Merry Christmas if I don't know you don't celebrate Christmas. If you want to hit me with any other greeting, I'm okay with that as well. I'm historically a sucker for Christmas, especially when our kids were little. I probably loved the Christmas specials and everything more than they did. I look forward to all of it, to watching all those with them. Things kind of changed when we lost our son to cancer back in 2013, and I got bitter for a few years. I did. I tried to hide it in a lot of ways, but sometimes you just know. At some point, you just have to admit that you might have been an asshole for a period of time. And I've tried over the last few years to really shake out of that, mostly because, for my daughter that's still here and grandkids, but also because I don't want to disappoint my son, who's no longer with us. It's just been a tough transition. Sometimes watching certain things are tough, but I've been trying to make myself do it, whether it makes me cry or not. As I try to celebrate this time of year, not necessarily because I'm a model Christian of any kind, and quite frankly, I don't seem to like the way many Christians seem to think they ought to celebrate, but or ought to act. Maybe that's the better way to put that. But I wish we could all find a way to put our differences behind us and get along, and not adhere to one very rigid way of interpreting, or one rigid way of interpreting an archaic book and saying everybody ought to live in this manner. And that for me, that's the problem with the way many view Christianity. Is there shouldn't be one way to say, hey, you have to celebrate this way, you have to act this way, you have to behave this way. No, there's a lot of ways to interpret that book, and let's be honest, it's an archaic book. It was written by old men at the time who were trying to control the masses, and especially the women of the time. We should be wiser by now. We shouldn't be looking at the book and saying, oh, let's do this. Now, take some of the wisdom out of it that is there and leave the rest behind. Sorry to get a little religious and political with you. That's why I don't call myself a beer reviewer, man. Because this stuff just makes me feel good all over. And I don't have the ability not to tell the truth. I don't have the ability not to be. You don't need to give me true serum, man. Tom, it's the beer. It's 11%. Hell, I'd have done that before I had any beer. Anybody that knows me knows that. But I will tell you, true serum or not, this beer is outstanding. 2020. The 2020 vintage. Let me show you the bottle one more time. 2020 vintage Mother's Materfamilias. Oh my Lord, this thing is just gorgeous. I finished that 2019 and thought, man, nothing is going to be better than this. And wow. I'm not going to say better, but it is every bit as good in a slightly different way. Gosh, that is gorgeous. So I will tell you one thing, though. When I had the 2019, I was noticing I felt like the rum and brandy barrels were slightly dominant, and here I'm feeling more of the bourbon and rye barrels. Because in the 2019, I was really feeling that rum note right at the finish, and here I'm really feeling that bourbon barrel and a little bit of that rye. Anyways, I just feel like if we truly believe in the Christmas spirit, we should all do the right thing and just be decent human beings to one another. And I don't know why that's just so damn hard for some. Anyways, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and cheese whiz and bacon. That's delicious. All around good guys, lunch you.